Welcome to another edition of Kenny's Punchline Podcast. You know, Jack, I've been wrestling with this idea lately, this whole concept of free will, and honestly, the more I think about it, the less I believe we actually have it.
Whoa, hold on a second. No free will? That's a pretty heavy statement, Jill. I mean, every decision I make, every choice, it feels pretty free to me. What exactly are you getting at?
I know, right? It feels free. But think about it. Are your choices truly uninfluenced? Our brains, our experiences, our environment, our genetics, they all play a massive role. Neuroscientists can often predict our choices before we're even consciously aware of making them. It's like our will is already on a path before we choose it.
Okay, I'll grant you that there are influences. Of course, my upbringing, my mood, the advertising I see, they all push me in certain directions. But at the end of the day, when I pick coffee over tea, or decide to go for a run instead of staying on the couch, that feels like my decision, pure and simple. Where does personal responsibility fit into this no free will idea?
That's exactly where I think we need to shift our thinking. Instead of free will, which often implies this isolated, uncaused, spontaneous spark of decision, I'm leaning into the idea of extended will. It's not about being powerless, but about understanding that our will isn't contained purely within our skull. It extends beyond us.
Extended will? That's a fascinating reframe. So what does extended will even look like in practice? Give me an example.
Think about it like this. Your will isn't just your immediate desire. It's deeply intertwined with your tools, your environment, your relationships, even your past self, setting things up for your future self. For example, if you set your alarm clock tonight, you're extending your will into tomorrow morning. You're leveraging a tool to ensure a future action happens, an action your future sleepy self might not freely choose.
Huh. That's a clever way to put it. So the alarm isn't just a tool, it's literally an extension of my intent, my will, to wake up at a certain time. I'm using technology to make a future decision for me, in a way.
Exactly. Or consider habits. When you've built a routine, say you always go to the gym on Tuesdays, that routine is an extension of your will. You made a conscious decision at some point, and now that decision has been encoded into your behavior, your environment, your schedule. It carries you forward without needing constant conscious redecision.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. So myself isn't just this isolated brain, but it's more like a network. And my will is the output of that network. My decisions are influenced by everything within that network. My past experiences, my environment, my relationships, the tools I use.
Precisely. And that network is your will. It's not less will, it's more will because it integrates so much. It's not about being powerless, it's about understanding the sources and mechanisms of your power. When you write a to-do list, you're externalizing your intent, extending your will into the physical world to guide your actions.
This is making me think differently about responsibility too. If my will is extended, does that mean I'm less responsible or actually more responsible for cultivating that extended will?
It means responsibility becomes more nuanced and contextual. You're responsible for how you engage with that extended will, for cultivating a positive environment, for choosing good tools, for fostering healthy relationships that support your goals. It shifts from purely internal blame to a more systemic understanding. You're not just accountable for the spark, but for the fuel you put into the system.
So, instead of just beating myself up for a bad decision, I might look at the influences, the extensions that led to it. And then I can work on those extensions to guide my will in a better direction next time.
Exactly. It's incredibly empowering. You're not just a victim of random impulses or an isolated chooser, you're an active participant in shaping the system that generates your will. Think about setting up your workspace in a way that encourages focus. That's an extended will at play. You're engineering your environment to make it easier to do the work you intend to do.
That's such a practical application. Or collaborating with someone on a project, you're literally extending your capacity and decision-making through another person's mind and skills. Your combined will is greater than your individual wills.
Yes, even things like cultural norms or societal expectations, they profoundly shape what we perceive as choices or desires. Our individual will isn't just born in a vacuum, it's constantly being molded and influenced by the collective, and in turn, we contribute to that collective. It's a continuous feedback loop.
Wow. So free will is almost too small a concept. It implies isolation, independence. Extended will suggests integration, connection, a dynamic process of being shaped and shaping in return.
Couldn't agree more. It's about being interconnected, rather than being an isolated agent. And recognizing that connection actually gives us more levers to pull, more ways to influence our future and our actions. We can strategically design our lives, our environments, and our relationships to align with our deepest intentions.
This really changes how I think about personal growth, too. It's not just about trying harder internally, but about strategically designing my surroundings, my community, my habits. It's a more holistic approach.
Exactly. It takes the pressure off the individual consciousness to be this all-powerful, uninfluenced decision-maker and puts it on a broader system that we can still influence. We're part of the system and we can tweak the system. We have agency, but it's an agency that acknowledges its embeddedness.
I'm seeing it everywhere now, from how I organize my pantry to make healthier food choices, to how I choose who I spend my time with. My will isn't just a mental command, it's how I set up the conditions for those commands to be effective.
And we can choose which networks we participate in, which influences we expose ourselves to, which tools we use to amplify our intentions. That's where our agency truly lies, in the curation of our extended self. It's a proactive, design-oriented approach to living.
So, it's not about giving up agency, it's about redefining it, from an internal isolated spark to a dynamic, interconnected field of influence. This feels much more real, you know?
Couldn't have said it better myself, Jack. It's a shift from a limited, almost illusory concept of free will to a much more robust, realistic, and frankly, more empowering understanding of extended will. It gives us more points of leverage.
This has been a total mind-bender, Jill, but in a really, really good way. I feel like I have a new lens to view my choices, my actions, and even my responsibilities. It's less about trying to force a free decision and more about intelligently shaping the landscape of my options.
That's exactly the goal. It's not about finding excuses for why we do things, but finding more effective strategies for living the life we intend to live.
Absolutely. Thanks for unpacking this with me. I'm going to be thinking about extended will for a long, long time.
My pleasure, Jack. And thank you for being such an open-minded listener and challenger. It really makes these big ideas come alive. Until next time, keep extending your will wisely.